Hey guys, Bricklink59 here. Welcome back to yet another awesome LEGO Star Wars vintage review. And today we're going to be taking a look at set number 7144, the Slave 1. Now this set came out in the year 2000, has over 165 pieces and one minifigure. It's ages 7 to plus and was released in the year 2000. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this awesome review right now. Alright, so the first minifigure in the set is of course Boba Fett. Now this minifigure is of course in the light gray color, as this was a time when LEGO did not make the switch to the more current light bluish gray color. So I thought that was kind of cool about this minifigure. But you could see here on the front, he does have some nice printing on the torso and helmet. And on the helmet you could see he does have some nice silver printing on the side, along with some yellow for some of the lines on his helmet. Now what's really cool about this minifigures is that it is a dual molded headpiece. So what that means is the jetpack is actually one piece, the jetpack and helmet, and I think that's really cool. Underneath it's just a plain black headpiece. Looking on to the back, actually we'll remove it, you can see he has no back printing or leg printing. And here's just a better look at the other side. So there's a look at Boba Fett. And the second, well, not technically minifigure, but this is the second part we get in the set. Now this is Han Solo in carbonite. Now this is of a minifigure, but technically not considered a LEGO minifigure. But this was actually, unlike the newer version, a very simple piece, just a 2x5 black brick with some bit of a dark silver chrome color in terms of the printing. And here's a better look at the back. Once again, nothing on there. Very simple piece, but definitely gets the job done. So that's Han Solo and carbonite. And now let's go ahead and get on to Alright, so here's a look at the Slave 1 itself. Definitely a nice vehicle. You got a bit of a look at how that was built in the time lapse. But basically, let's go ahead and quickly take a bit of a 360 view just so you can get a better look at the entire vehicle. So here's basically a look at the back. Pretty simple, but at the same time, it has some nice detailing. Here's a look at the other side. Again, we have some nice colors. I really like how they blend in together. Here's a look at the back, and then once again, back here to the other side. Now, before we get into this review, I just want to let you guys know this set was made in 2000, so LEGO wasn't as advanced as it is nowadays, as their building techniques weren't as great. They definitely had a lot of piece limitations, as many of the rounded parts weren't really molded or created at that time, as they actually ended up coming in the years to come. So they really had to make do with some of the sharper curved pieces, like the sharp slanted pieces, rather than more circular curves. And for the parts they had, they did a pretty good job for this vehicle. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of the details. Now before we actually get into it, I thought I'd just do a bit of a cool little comparison. This is the Slave 1 from 2010. Now it's not completely finished as I'm still building it, but this is what it is so far. And in terms of size, as you can see, the Slave 1 from 2010 is huge compared to that 2000 Slave 1. So scale-wise, it definitely is a bit small, but there's just a look at the comparison. So let's go ahead and now take a look at some of the features. So first off, you do have these two blasters, which are manual compared to some of the newer versions where it actually automatically rotates as the ship moves. This actually is just a manual part here. So it's actually a cool part. This is actually like one of those fire hoses in the black color, which I think is really cool. Here's a basic look at the front of the ship. Pretty simple, a lot of studs exposed, but again, back for 2000, it's pretty decent. You could see we of course have the alternate of green and then this light gray color, and then we have some dark gray plates on the top. Something I don't like, even though it was back in 2000, they could have definitely fixed some of these exposed parts, as that definitely doesn't look good, really stands out with that white. But over here, this is a look at the actual wing. The wing actually is pretty interesting, it does of course move as you move the ship, as seen there, and it's some pretty simple detailing on the wing. Here's a basic look at some of the slope detailing throughout the model. I think it really blends in, the different colors with the grays and browns and greens. It really blends in well together. In terms of the back, there isn't really much of an interior, but basically what you have is this piece right here folds down, and inside you actually get Han Solo in carbonite. So as seen there, you can see there he does have a plate on top. But basically what's inside is nothing much, as it's basically just a space where you can just pop in Han Solo and carbonite. You could see he fits in right there, a bit tough to see, and you just close this piece up. So very simple, nothing much there, but for the size it's pretty decent. In terms of the front here, here's a better look at the detailing of the side, how they did that. Once again, they didn't have many of the angled pieces, so they did use the more sharply slanted pieces. But here's the cockpit, which is kind of cool. It's actually a double piece, as seen there. And once again, it's some of the old sets, they have these different types of connecting mechanisms, which I think is really cool. But on the interior, it's actually a decent bit. Now I'm again not a fan that they use these bright colors here and here, and then have them exposed in the vehicles. It really does kind of take away from the overall look to it, and I mean that was a pretty simple task. LEGO could have easily improved on. But anyways, here on the interior, what you have, it's very, very simple. You basically have this plate here, and that is where you take your Boba Fett minifigure and seat him. Now, all you need to do is just clip him onto the studs, and it is sometimes a bit difficult, but there you go. And that's basically all. He just sits down and he closes up like so. And unlike the new versions, what happens here is this. So when you open it up, like if you've seen the newer slave ones, you know that the Boba Fett's seat does like move as the ship does. So it's in the upright position, but when you actually bend it down, he would be pointing that way. That is of course not the case with this set, as this is basically a one-piece seat, so it basically doesn't really move at all, no matter how the ship is positioned. But it's pretty alright. Here's again a look at the interior cockpit. We just have a few printed parts here and here. Everything looks pretty good. You can see once again more of those bright colors, which I'm not a huge fan of. But other than that, that's actually pretty much it for the set. So there isn't really too much to it in terms of features. But there you go. That's it for the review of set number 7144, the Slave 1. Here's a look at the instruction manual, which again is 29 steps, as seen there. But I really do like these instruction manuals back in the day. This is actually exactly how the box art looks as well. You can see the awesome Star Wars logo there. On the interior here, what I like is that they do have stars, so they have a cool background to the instruction booklet. Seen there, they don't have the small part that tells what pieces are needed for the step. But what I really like is that they actually include movie scenes on each and every page. And I think that's really, really cool, as seen there. And that's something cool that they don't really do nowadays. They also have this nice border around the pages. I really like some of these instruction manuals back in the day. But there's pretty much a look at the instruction manual, just some more information of StarWars.com and Lego.com. There's another look at some of the images. but there is a look at the instruction manual. Alright, and that's going to do it for the review of set number 7144, the Slave 1. So, my final thoughts, I think it's a really nice set. It's pretty sturdy, especially for the year it was made. Again, I'm not a huge fan of the part selection, but for the year in 2000, LEGO really didn't have much in terms of the different molds and parts. So I really like what they did with the parts they had. They were really able to pull it off in making a pretty solid ship. What I really don't like about this set is that they have parts exposed. They use these really bright colors for some of these parts, which these are really easy fixes. Especially for like exposed parts, they could have just moved this part up one or something. Some of these like bright red, bright blue parts, they could have easily replaced, as there are parts in the set of different colors. So they could have easily replaced some of these brightly colored parts. But other than that, it's a pretty good set. In terms of buying it, again, I got this for $20 without the figs, as I already had them in my collection. With the figs, it'll be, what, 22, 24, 25 bucks at most, used. Maybe 40, 50 bucks sealed, I'm not completely sure. Sites you would go is, of course, bricklink and eBay. Those are the best bets if you want to get some good prices. eBay would be if you want to try to get a bit of a cool deal in terms of bidding. But there is a basic look at the set. Now, if you are looking to buy this set, would I recommend it? Now, that's a bit of a tough question. It really depends. If you don't have any of the other slave ones and you really want to buy one of the slave ones, I'd say save up your money. Don't buy this set. I'd much rather you buy the 2010 one or maybe even the 2006 one. Some of the newer versions, as they are much better in terms of quality and detail. But if you are a hardcore Star Wars collector, then this is a pretty good set that you should get. Has some great figures, a pretty good ship all in all, and it's a nice part of your collection, a bit of a nice standout vehicle as well. And it's, again, not too expensive. So if you are a vintage Star Wars collector, or maybe like Slave 1s in general and trying to collect them all, I definitely say it's a pretty good set for your collection. For the younger fans, I'd say it's a good set if you don't really have the budget, but I would try and save up instead and maybe get one of the newer versions, as they have much more detail, as I said, and a bit more of a better actually minifigure selection as well. But there you go, that's it for the set review. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for more videos coming very soon. Definitely give me your thoughts of this set down in the comments below, and stay tuned for more videos coming soon. So this is BrickWizard59. I want to thank you for watching, and I'll see you all next time.